What's happening, people? We are back, and big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody who's come over from Just Joe. Big up to Joe, back in the building. All things Leeds. Leeds look like they're coming up, but where are they coming up? Are they coming up in the playoffs? Are they going to be in the automatics? Ipswich are still there. That Shark and Kieran McKenna's looking at them. It won't leave them alone. Leicester are there to be got at. Southampton are there, sniffing around. It's an unbelievable championship. We're going to get into that as well. Big up to Dave, big up to Emilio, big up to Rich. We might have another couple of lads joining us, but we must be dinner time because I've literally just finished eating. Emilio's still eating. Dave's eating. It must be, man. It must be dinner time. We all got to eat tonight. European football is back. It's on currently at the moment. Brighton struggling 2-0 against Roma. Liverpool absolutely battering Prague 4-1. And what's mad is Bayern Leverkusen are losing 2-0 to Quarabag. I mean, that is crazy. I never saw that coming. I thought they were going to be one of the favourites with Liverpool to win that competition, but they're 2-0 down in the first half. So let's see what happens there. Madness for Xabi Alonso's men, who I don't believe have lost yet, unless I'm wrong.
No,
so,
10 clear.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely mental. Yeah, Quarabag. I mean, I remember them being in the Champions League one year against us, or was it Europa League against us years ago? And I'm like, who the hell are these? They're back and they're beating them. It's absolutely mad. It is crazy, man. It is crazy. Let's do something that we don't normally always do. Let's come to Joe first because I'm excited, man. I'm watching the Championship a lot more than I ever have done before because there's teams in it that I want to see fighting.
Because you're an Ipswich fan.
I'm an Ipswich fan, man.
Tell them you're an Ipswich fan.
I love Ipswich Town, you know. I think it's a good place for us to start. I want Ipswich to go up, but I want Leeds to go up. You know I do. So they're the two I'm rooting for, man. But that means Leicester or Southampton. One of them ain't gonna make it in my books. And I don't know what one it is, man. It looking at the moment like Southampton might just not have enough. But Leicester, I don't know what you're going to get with Leicester sometimes, man. It's crazy at the moment. And, yeah, Joe, it must be exciting but nerve-wracking at the same time, bruv.
Yeah. I think Jamie Carragher put it best the other day, didn't he? He says we've got 3 championship teams in the Prem and 3 Prem teams in the Championship. I just think last season was a bit of an anomaly when you look at the 9 teams at some point that could have gone down, whereas this season normal service has resumed. Even in the Championship, you know, you're looking at teams maybe getting the record points haul or having 3 teams like way above the rest. Obviously Southampton as well, but they've dropped off of late, but have got a game in hand. But yeah, it's a bit wild. Leicester have brought it now into a title race, if you like, after losing 3 on the spin. They did win midweek, but I think with them as well, possible points deductions next season, losing key players. Wout Faes, obviously Dewsbury Hall could have gone in January at one point as well. There was chats of him going, so he's going to be wanted by a host of clubs. So, you know, does that turn the players off a little bit? You know, well, I'm not going to be here at the end of next season kind of thing. Let's hope so. I hope it has some sort of effect on the rest of the season. Look, what I will say for Ipswich, mate, for them to be doing what they're doing, considering they've come up from League One and they're up against 3 Premier League sides with Premier League money in Southampton, Leicester and Leeds, with Premier League players. You know, we have a lot of players that would get into some lower-end Premier League sides. So the fact that they're doing it, it's great. I think Kieran McKenna's a top coach, and I think Ipswich fans need to be more concerned about him potentially leaving if they don't go up. I think someone will give him a chance. I know Palace were interested for a period, I think, until they got their man. So I think he'll be someone people want. But yeah, listen, we've just got to keep winning, but it don't get any easier. We play tomorrow night against Sheff Wednesday, and that's going to be a rock-hard game, a derby. They're flying at the minute as well. The mad thing is, mate, I think from bottom of the league up to 13th, there's 2 points. So the whole division this season, there's just, it's exciting, but being in it and being one of the ones wanting to get promoted, there's jeopardy every game. But as a football fan, that's what you like, right? You don't want to be boring in the mid-table. But you know, when's the season finish? When can I go on holiday? That kind of vibe. So it's very much, Rich knows all about
Joe.
that. Yeah. Every season, Rich knows all about that. So yeah, listen, we've not been great of late, Dan. Although we've only lost once this year, but we've looked a bit leggy. I think Somerville and Rutter are getting they're getting doubled up on, they're getting extra kicks and stuff. Jonathan Hogg elbowed one of our lads in face and got himself something. So some of the tactics, dark arts, no VAR, some of that's going on with some of our better players now, as you would expect. So yeah, it's exciting, but also no, I just want out of the division, mate. I want back in the Premier League. I don't want the playoffs. Because the mad thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if West Brom and Carlos Corberán win the playoffs, and the other two that end up down there just can't.
Imagine.
So yeah, exactly. That's the worry. So just give me top two, but 10 games left, man. Many twists and turns. I think it's going to be an exciting end to the season. It's good though, innit? Because like you say, my mate's in Madrid at the minute. I've just been doing a show. He's a Huddersfield fan. He's in Madrid, and they were all watching the Leipzig-Madrid game, and they ended up like switching over and all watching like championship football in the same pub, he said, and he said like it's getting new fans because of how exciting it is. And I think we've just seen the EFL as well get a brand new bumper deal with America, haven't they? I think in terms of revenue and stuff for TV rights over there. So we're quite lucky in England that our second division is up there with some of the other leagues, you know, and none of the other second divisions can really compare with ours, I don't think. So,
no,
you know, we're quite lucky in that respect.
Facts. And I must say, like, I've enjoyed it this year. I don't normally watch a lot of championship football for obvious reasons, but when it has been on and it has been one of those four teams, I've watched it. If it's been Ipswich, Leeds, Leicester or Southampton, I've actually sat there and watched it. I've watched a little bit of West Brom this season. They're there or thereabouts. And you're right, Joe. Like, if Hull or Sunderland or West Brom or one of those guys stay where they are in the playoffs, you'll probably find it'll be one of them that goes up instead of it Southampton or something, which it just would be cruel, really, to be fair. You're right on Ipswich. Obviously, the reason I got a soft spot for them is because I've lived fairly locally to them. I'm in Essex, across the border there in Suffolk. So that's the only reason. I've not got any love for them, really. I just follow them and I look at what they've done under Kieran McKenna and I think it's incredible, man. I mean, like, they've gone up from League One to the Championship, and I just said to my mates who are Ipswich fans, I just want to stay in the division. They went, yeah, man, I don't want to go back down to League One. They can't believe it. They're like, what the hell are we seeing here? Like, this is unbelievable. And they're a team that don't really know when they've been beaten, because I watched their results the other night and they were 2-1 down, I believe, against Bristol City. And I thought, 9 minutes to go. They're going to be in trouble. Then it went to about 6 minutes to go, and I was like, and they turned it around and won. Like, they
missed a penalty as well, by the way.
Yeah.
They missed a penalty. I was like, get in, their luck's run out, and then they still went and scored. Mental.
Incredible. So, yeah, I think Leeds will go up. I think Leicester will win the league, and I think it will be you too. And then I think it's going to be a flip of a coin, man, between what happens in the playoffs, because how often has it been? I mean, Dave, you'll know as a Forest fan, how often has it been in the Championship? You look at the six that are in the league and you think, it'll be them that go up in the playoffs. They've been brilliant all season, and it ain't. It's someone else.
It's often done, that team that sneaks into sixth place, you know, late on in the day, because they carry all the momentum with them. And if you're saying it's a top three battling for those two positions and you end up the third team, you know, you end up really, really vulnerable. Although, you know, it's just the Championship, I actually think pound for competitiveness is as good as any division on the planet. It's less. I mean, the Premier League, to all intents and purposes, you can narrow it down to whoever's going to win it and not be far away. The Championship, although I do think the Championship is going that way a little bit more nowadays, but by and large, the Championship is. I love the Championship. I love it more than now that I'm not in it, and I don't want to go back to. I don't love it so much that I want to go back to it, but it's probably likely that we are going to go back to it. But as a league, you don't get any VAR. You watch a Championship game and you don't get held up by this, you know, this kind of constant.
I was going to ask Joe about that, to be fair, VAR stuff, because that must be. Is that good? Is that been better, mate? Because I remember when we played the League Cup games and everyone's like, no VAR, it's so nice, thank God for that. But Championship don't have it at all. So what's that like, man?
I guess the mad thing is, like, there's times this season, like West Brom score a goal that was against us that was handled. Leeds have scored a goal by Bamford that was handled for us. So it's just a case of, like, over the course of the season, you just go.
Do you miss it though,
like,
Joe?
No, I wouldn't say I miss it. I don't really. I don't know if it's like impacted my viewing that much. I don't think, in all honesty, I haven't really noticed it because I guess I know it's not coming. I don't know. Nah, I don't know. Nah, it's not been that big of a deal, to be honest. Maybe too much is made of it. I don't know. But then again, it depends if you've had them crazy decisions where they still get it wrong. But in the Championship, the referees are just shit anyway, man. Let's be honest, man. It doesn't matter, does it? Like,
I was just gonna say that. Because was it QPR versus West Brom the other night?
Yeah.
And the West Brom players literally saved it.
Yeah.
And the referees missed it. And I know QPR obviously are fighting for their lives at the minute, I believe. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are, mate. Yeah.
That in itself could cost them. So VAR in the sense could have helped in that scenario.
Yeah.
But
we know how bad the referees are, man. I mean, I must admit, it's been a shambles for the majority of the last few seasons, but I watched it. Dave, Forest, Liverpool, and Tierney, who, by the way, is not allowed to referee, but he's now allowed to do our bloody VAR on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Oh yeah, he's not allowed to referee. We'll put him in the VAR box against Arsenal, Brentford. Oh, cheers, thanks. That's brilliant. Then I'm really pleased. Last time Lee Mason got sacked against Arsenal, Brentford because he forgot to put the lines up, and now we got this clown in our VAR box, who is one of the worst referees, by the way. And I don't know what he's doing there. I'm not saying that Forest would have won the game, and I'm not saying that Liverpool wouldn't have won the game, but it doesn't bother me whether it was 50 seconds or 1 minute 50 seconds or 5 seconds after that they score. The decision was an absolute joke. I couldn't believe it, Dave. I was stunned, mate. And I know that Elanga will look at himself, and so will Hudson-Odoi, and think, how have I not scored for Forest? But at the same time, that doesn't mean you deserve to lose the game. Take nothing away from Alexis McAllister's ball, by the way, which was quality, and a header from Darwin Nunez. But this decision was mad. I'm sorry. I'm not just saying it because I'm a gooner and I didn't want them to score. If that was against me, I'd be going absolutely nuts. How can you give the ball back like that? So that is just mad for me, bro.
Yeah, it was. Let's just say there was a lot of vexation in that stadium at that moment. Personally, I just sort of sat there like it was like a gut punch. I just sat there and I thought the best thing to do is to say nothing, not wave my arms about, too old for all that kind of nonsense anyway, but there was a hell of a lot of anger around. But there are so many different facets to it. You've alluded to several of them, Dan. I mean, the thing is, we played really well. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I thought we deserved a point. I don't think we deserved to win, but I thought we deserved a point. We could have won because the two best chances in the game fell to Anthony Elanga. So while people are blaming Tierney for what happened, Forest have to be a bit culpable as well, because if Anthony sticks those two chances away, we don't even have to bother talking about Paul Tierney, really. So there are lots of different aspects to it. I mean, we cut them apart. It was a lovely move. Morgan had a shot blocked. It went for a corner. The corner comes over, and Tierney's eye was drawn to one thing while another thing was happening. Two things were happening simultaneously. As the ball came over, Kerman Kelleher is clearing out Kanate. He collides with him. At the same time, Andy Omobamidele is being wrestled to the ground by a Liverpool player. I don't know who it is. It might have been Alexis himself for a clear penalty. It was literally a bear hug. The ball's gone out to the far side of the 18-yard box at my end of the ground, so I see it. Callum retrieves the ball. His thought then is to take on, I think, Simicas or whoever to try and get the ball over. At which point Tierney blows, and he's ignored completely the, to my way of thinking, justified penalty shout for what was happening to Andy Omobamidele. And I think he's just been taken by what's gone on between Kelleher and Kanate. Yeah, you know what I mean? So the whole thing was just, honestly, mate, it was just, I mean, I looked at it and Tierney clearly made a mistake, but then we've all made mistakes, as the Dalek said, climbing off the dustbin, you know what I mean? So the way I look at it, we're none of us perfect. It was an egregious mistake, but then my view is you play to the whistle, you accept the referee's decision, however outrageous. I'll probably upset Forest fans by saying it. I've always believed that whatever the referee gives is chapter and verse. Right when he's wrong. I mean, I've been pondering all week what Mark Clattenburg's role at Nottingham Forest is. What can he affect? What does he do? Is he employed by our overweening, slightly vain owner? What is Clattenburg's role? He cannot affect what Paul Tierney did. He can't affect what I think Rob Jones is going to do at Brighton on Sunday. Is he employed just to make a comment that changes nothing? And that's the whole basis of what happened on Saturday, Dan. It's in the books. It can't be changed. What? We all go back to the City Ground. Liverpool, can you come back? We'll play again. No, it's not going to happen. My view with Forest is they should have dealt with the ball. That Taiwo had the ball, Callum had the ball before he got to McAllister.
Just get it out.
There's a sacred part of the City Ground. In fact, there's a sacred part of every football stadium on earth. I think it's called Rosed, and that's where it should have gone to. The pair of them, maybe they were trying to play too much football, but get it off the field. If it goes off the field, we get a 0-0. Wow, what a result. And we would have got it deserved, I think. But, I looked at it. The ruthless, cold-hearted nature says, good teams play below average and find a way to win. That's why Liverpool are first. Average teams play well and find ways not to win. And that's why we're 17th, right? So there's culpability on Forest. But this Clattenburg thing just strikes me as a gimmick. He's come straight off pantomime villain at Gladiators, which is the most nonsensical program I think I've ever seen in my life. I can't make head and tail of it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm too educated for Gladiators. I don't know. So he has zero credibility. The other thing I don't like is I don't like our owner chasing the referee down the tunnel. I think that is it says
mad,
all the way around the City Ground to go onto the field of play if you are not a player or an official or maybe a medical staff member. It is trespass. Doesn't matter whether you own the club or not. Do not go on the field of play. What I would have done Saturday, I'd have closed ranks. I'd have said nothing. I'd have said nothing about the referee. I'd have said nothing about the match. I'd have kept me trap shut, kept me dignity, got in that changing room. And then what I'd have done, and I'd have done it all the way through the week, is stick a massive chip on Nottingham Forest's shoulder. Tell them the whole world hates them and is against them. And what are they going to do about it? And then take it out in the best way possible with action at Brighton on Sunday afternoon. And then, don't... Forest are a little bit... Sometimes with Forest, it's a little bit too... Look at us. The Clattenburg thing is just... I cannot understand it. He should be coming and teaching lads how to deal with, dignity with referees, not coming in and saying... all this referee... sort of influencing is nonsense. I can't be doing with it. But as it is, it can't be changed. We lost. It's in the history books. And we move on to Brighton. That's the only way to deal with it. And now there are 11 games to go. We have to get 33. We're probably going to lose 6 or 10. And we're probably going to go down anyway. So we might just have a crack at it. I mean, everybody thinks we're down. I think we're down. Because if I think we're up, I'll probably jinx us. So I'm going to go pessimistic. And I'm going to
do the old reverse psychology, Dave.
No. Yeah, absolutely. There'll be a train going from Nottingham, and there'll be a train coming from Leeds, and somewhere around Sheffield, two blokes will be waving to each other, going in different directions. He'll be on his way to the Prem, and I'll be on my way to the Championship, probably. But it can go either of two ways. Either Forest sulk about it and they just melt away, or it galvanises them. And I'm hoping that is the case. And I actually think that the points deduction might come before that Luton game next week. I've heard it's going to be done next week. So if nothing else, if Nottingham Forest have got their wits about them, they'll do two massive pieces of motivation. What happened against Liverpool? I mean, you could go back to the one against Bournemouth where Willie Bolly was sent off for a good tackle.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got to use these things. It's when you're in adversity, you've got to use it. And I think if Forest have got their wits about them, they might well be the angriest squad in the country, and they've got to use it in a positive way, I think.
How many points are you going to... 6, is it, bro? 6?
What's that, mate?
How many points are you expected? About 6 to be taken away?
6, mate, yeah. 6, I'm expecting 6.
So where will that put you? What will that put you down to?
18th. Put them on 18 points.
It puts you in the bottom 3. Man. Yeah, it could. It probably will.
Could kill you, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Not be me done on this show, It would top off. I don't know if you saw my comment on the WhatsApp. It would sort of top off the worst few months of my life. But the thing is,
I know, man.
But you know what? What's happened before makes me kind of think I can't control it. I can't control Nottingham Forest. I can't control referees. I can't control legalities and all this kind of thing. Just got to deal with it. I'm on the ride.
If that does happen, if you get the 6, you go down to 18. You go down to 18th on 18 points. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then you're relying on Everton to get more points dropped and Luton to lose games then to try and save you. Or Brentford to keep having a meltdown. Because Brentford are only on 26, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're properly safe. I think they will be.
No.
But it's not like they're properly safe. But man,
we're not too safe. Like we're on 28.
Well,
yeah,
do you know what?
well.
If it was Dion here, Rich, Palace would be safe. But you come on and you kind of see. I mean, honestly, if D was on here now, he'd be telling us because she beat Burnley in that one game. He's league material, mate. So it's nice.
We're not safe till we're safe. I'll tell you that for free.
That's right. These are on holiday, so I get sensible bloke on now. Rich, we get to talk Palace sensibly. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the way I see it, man.
One thing I will say though, Dave,
on
the whole, and this was obviously relating to you as well, and Dan. The Premier League want a title race. That is the only reason why Liverpool are getting these decisions. They want to keep it as close as possible because it's going to generate as much money as possible.
You reckon that's true, Rich? You reckon that's true?
100%. The last 3-4 years, apart from the City and Liverpool 97, 98, it's kind of been one-way traffic, you know. With Arsenal, even they had a lead to about March, I believe it was, and then kind of fell off, and then it was a big gap. I'm intrigued by both sides of the table at the minute. It's enthralling. The Championship as well. Right now, it's going to make the Premier League and the English Football League in itself a lot of money, you know. So to keep the teams at the top just ticking over, they're going to want to screw over clubs like Palace and clubs like Forest and so on and so forth. They don't care about us. Look, they want the Super League. They generally do not care about us. So, yeah.
That's the same with the League Cup in January. Liverpool and Chelsea were kept apart. Did you see the draw? Did you actually see anyone drop the board into the bowl? No, straight to the video. And then Liverpool and Chelsea kept apart. And then when you get a 0-0 draw, predictable. Okay, it was an exciting 0-0 draw, but again, same thing. Same conspiracy. They didn't want to live a Fulham Middlesbrough final. Why would they want that? Same thing. So when we nearly gave Liverpool a run for their money, but with a bit more luck,
I love Emilio.
Decisions going our way. It's true though.
Did anyone see them put the balls in? I love that. That is true. No one did.
Seen the ball dropped and no evidence there. Yeah, Steve Reynolds.
It's actually true, man. I laugh him, but it is true. No one did see that. They just literally put it on, and then the balls were already in there. That's true, man. That is true. Big up to Locks, by the way, in the chat, bro. We need to get you back on. Might even be joining us next season if things carry on. Big up to Footy Judge Mo as well. Make sure that you go and subscribe to Footy Judge Mo. The Premier League want Luton to stay up. Do you know what? I think a lot of people want Luton to stay up. I don't even think that's wrong what Mo's saying. I think the story would be phenomenal. He also thinks Joe's going to replace Dave. He thinks Forest might be going down. Well, that points deduction, that would potentially kill you, Dave Forest. Honestly, like that is going to be tough. Then, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everton might get more. They're suggesting. I don't know how many more.
What's the general consensus for these points deductions? Because I feel that you've cheated, and I'm not like just doing it for controversy's sake and that, but I know, but like. The end of the day, these teams that are facing points deductions are facing points deductions because they've cheated. So, like when I see Everton fans up in arms and complaining and that, well, don't cheat. I know they have no bearing on it, and it's not their fault. But ultimately, you have to hold your hands up and say, right, okay, yeah, we dropped our owners dropped the ball.
I think you're right, Joe. You are right, but for me, I think it needs to be, as long as it's throughout, and if people have broken rules and that's the way that the punishment is, that's cool. So make sure Man City is the same. Make sure Chelsea are the same. Because why are we all concentrating on Everton and Forest first? What's happening with these Man City and Chelsea? When are they going to be investigated for this? Like all of a sudden, Everton and Forest, it's like boom. Like maybe it's because they believe
charges,
they've accepted.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's because they've accepted that they've done wrong, right?
Can I just come back?
I hope that it's all.
Yeah, can I just come back? Let me tell you how I feel about it, Joe, as a Nottingham Forest supporter. I feel uncomfortable. I feel, Brighton 4-0 down. Thanks, Rich.
Brighton are getting battered 4-0.
So they'll probably take it out on us now on Sunday. But I feel, as a Nottingham Forest supporter, I feel embarrassed and uncomfortable because I can't come on here and sort of point the finger at other clubs because as soon as I do, somebody go, well, yeah, you've broken the rules. We've broken the rules. Somewhere in our club, there's been bad stewardship. And, somebody appointed somebody who couldn't do the job. I think people have been fired. But ultimately, it comes down to the owner and who he appoints to positions. So my view is, what will be, will be. I can't get upset about it. I'll only ever get upset about Nottingham Forest if there's not a game to go to, and Nottingham Forest don't exist. Joe, I've said this on this show many times. Whatever happens, there's a points deduction. There's a points deduction, and it is what it is. The courts will decide, right? But it doesn't change me at all. I just go to matches. I just buy another season ticket, whatever league we're in, and I just keep going because Nottingham Forest is eternal, and I go with it until I croak it. But at the moment, I feel a bit ashamed. Actually, I feel embarrassed. So you won't ever find me pointing the finger at, Connor knows this. I've never said anything about Everton because I've got no leg to stand on. So it's not for me because I said this many times. I want Nottingham Forest to have the moral high ground. The moral high ground, I actually think, is worth points. This is why I think Luton will stay up and we will go down. Everybody loves Luton. It's a fairy story, a fairy tale. It's an incredible story. I love Luton. I want them to go, and I want us to stay up. But Luton Town's a great football club, well run, better run than us. Absolutely no doubt about it. Gary Sweet runs a tight ship at Luton. And for them to come from where they've come from in such a relatively short space of time, it's great. The same goes for Bournemouth. The same goes for Brentford. Nottingham Forest can't say that. And if they go down because of a points deduction, it's because they broke the rules. And I'm not going to. I mean, you'll have Forest fans going on podcasts saying, "Oh, we shouldn't get it because I love Forest." I love Forest, but we're going to get it. So I'm resigned to it. And for me, if I resign myself to it, and then it isn't a points deduction, it's a fine or something, I can say, "Well, that's a nice, pleasant surprise." Do you know what I mean? But I can't bullshit anybody about how I feel. I feel uncomfortable about it. I wish it was another club, but it isn't. It's my club, and I've got to deal with it.
Yeah. I get it, Dave, and I'm with you on this. Very honest of you, man. I don't understand on a unrelated topic why Chelsea and United are twerking for Zerbi, but I really hope they get him because I don't rate this guy at all. I mean, he's 4-0 down. He's getting pumped again. He's held 4 by Luton, 6 by Villa, 4 by Roma. Please go do a job at United and Chelsea and keep him away, man. Please. I don't rate this guy at all. I don't understand this massive hype with this De Zebra guy. I do not get it. But people think he's brilliant and he's the best thing since sliced bread because he plays out from the back. Jesus, stop playing out from the back and actually defend properly, man. You're conceding an unbelievable amount of goals. Is that me or would anyone want this guy? I don't get this
you, bro.
obsession. I don't understand it. Oh, he's the next one after Pep goes. They'll go in for him. I hope they do. That'd be brilliant.
Well, he disrespected it last weekend. Look, put a reserve team out against us. We thumped them good and proper. He may have wanted to protect the team for the European. Look, they've been thumped, 4-0 in Roma? A much improved Roma since Mourinho's left the club. So
and playing the high line again. Now we exposed Aston Villa's high line earlier in the season, and we've got some pace with Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. If we use that on Sunday and they play that high line, Nuno's going to spot it because in all of this, Nuno Espirito Santo, I think, is doing a good job at the moment. He's the one guy I've got faith in that club at the moment.
Well, listen, I do not understand what massive hype is with this De Zerbi guy. That's all I'm saying. He's lost half the games he's managed at Brighton. Or is it already he's won? Yeah, he hasn't won. I think he's won 21 out of 22 out of 56 games. People are calling him like the next Pep and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I don't get this. And I like Brighton. I love the way they run. I think the way they've done business in the last few years has been phenomenal and admirable. But I just don't get why people overhype stuff. They did it with Pochettino at Spurs. Look at the state of Chelsea with him now. Oh, dear. It's just mad for me. But there we go. Anyway, back to this show. Emilio, let's come to you, bruv. Fulham, they just keep plugging away, man. They're doing their business. They've got this Muniz guy who looks to be a good signing, in my opinion, from what I can see. Anyway, I imagine Fulham fans are happy with him. And Fulham, at the moment, I imagine, as Fulham fans, you're sitting there with your feet up and chilling and watching what's happening. Because let's be real, you're safe. And I don't think Fulham will get European football, and I don't think you're going to go down. So I don't know. Is that a good way to be, Emilio? Is it less exciting that way, or are you happy to be safe?
I still think we've got a lot to play for. I think we can relax now. I think that's the thing. You've got, we aren't going to go down. I think we can continue to play the expansive brand of football we're playing. Most of our players are back from injury again, so that's no coincidence. That 3 of the last 4 games we've won, and we've won well in all those. We beat Bournemouth comfortably 3-1, thumped Brighton last week, and deserved to win away to Man United. So look, we're playing well. We're playing with renewed confidence. But 2 months ago, I was on this show lambasting the way we played away to Bournemouth, and absolutely dire. And Boxing Day, lost 3-0. We were terrible. Injuries. We're all lambasting Mooney's. Is this the best that we can do? We've got a player who wasn't good enough to be loaned out at Middlesbrough last season. Yet here we are now, renewed confidence. Maybe the manager. Look, Marco Silva deserves a lot of credit for getting the best out of these players. He's a very good manager. Thankfully, he's not being hyped with some bigger jobs because look at the Zerbi. He's got a lot of getting a lot of respect from the neutrals, but he disrespected us last week with that reserve team that he played. And that's our way of paying that back. Is we thumped you good and probably it could have been more. Yeah, they had a lot of possession. We know how Brighton played, but the scoreline was 3-0. End of story. All that 70-odd possession at our ground. We rode our luck a couple of times, but we probably should have scored more goals. So Mooney's in a rich vein of form. He's looking like the part at the moment. Again, let's see that over a full season. But I like his hold-up play. He reminds me a lot like Mitrovic in many respects. Good hold-up play, causing a nuisance to defenders. Defenders have struggled. Lewis Dunk last weekend struggled. He got taken off at second half because he couldn't cope with Mooney's giving him basically the Mitrovic, being a strong, rugged, winning balls in the air, holding the ball up well. He's scoring. He's creating assists. The team are playing like a real unit. So true, Steve. Yeah, very true. It's we got one. We only got 1 point against 6 against Burnley, and that's the inconsistency with our team. When we got our 4 players out there playing to their best potential, and we play with a high line team like Brighton did, we will win games this season. But we're comfortable mid-table now. Play with a bit of pride. Wolves on Saturday is a tough game, but that's going to be good for the neutral, right? Nothing. Both Wolves maybe argue they've got something to play for, but if we can beat them, we go back and level pegging with them. So we've got a lot to play for. There's some big games at the Cottage that may decide the Premier League, Dan. We've got Man City at home, Liverpool at home, Newcastle.
Please beat them. Please beat both of them, yeah?
Yeah, they're not going to want to come down the Cottage. We're going to give these guys a run for their money, right? So it's,
I hope you do, man.
We on our day, we're capable of hurting a few. We did that against you on New Year's Eve, and we'll give Liverpool another run for their money when we play them in the next month or so. So overall, Fulham fans, we're happy. Lots to look forward to. Let's see where the investment is. My worry is this squad is aging. Are we punching above our weight? Potentially, but the manager's getting the best out of this thin squad of experienced players. And, with a bit more investment in key areas next year, then we can hopefully push on for European players. We could have done that this season, but maybe FFP got in the way, and maybe the owners didn't really want to take any unnecessary risks and say, let's get enough to stay up and worry about, maturing and building that squad of the people. We've got to think about what's our long-term strategy. This is not sustainable, picking up all these 32, 33-year-olds. We need to start bringing some youth into the ranks. But, I'm happy at the moment, and I'm enjoying the brand of football, and that's the most important thing. The Fulham fans, let's not European football, we've been there. We got to the final. Brighton aren't going to get to the final this year, are they? So sorry, Brighton fans. It's you played the reserve team last weekend. Look, and you still get thumped tonight. So it's not so. Rich, you must be a happy fella. So,
absolutely.
I've got to be careful what I say. My wife, she's a Brighton fan. Even though she doesn't love football, she's from the south coast, so they have a bit of rivalry when the two clubs play each other. But
Emilio needs to go careful with Brighton fans. They block him on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I met one of the guys last weekend for a drink before the game, so we put things to bed, to be honest. But overall, I've got
He'll
nothing
have his
against
nuts for
Brighton.
earrings, I reckon.
I've got nothing against him. Honestly.
I never ever forget that. It's hilarious. He goes,
Look, I've got
bloody
property.
Brighton fans have blocked me from WhatsApp. They've dumped me out of group.
We've got a small apartment in Brighton. Meant to be a holiday home this weekend, but we've just not used it for many years. So, nothing against them, but yes, one of the guys was very apologetic when I saw him last weekend for the first time face to face before the game. But look, Fulham fans, a lot to look forward to, and there's a lot to either keep teams up. Because we've got Sheffield United away, Dave. We've got Luton away. We've got Brentford away, so we can influence who wins the league and who drops down. So again, everyone will be looking at Fulham to do clubs a favour.
Our place, April the 2nd, Amelia.
Yeah, Easter Tuesday, isn't it? Overall, I'm happy. I'm content.
I want Fulham to be doing all they can to take points off Liverpool and City, man. I tell you that. You took points off us, so it's your turn to repay the favour for me, Emilio, now, and go take points off of them two clubs, man. That would be nice. To be fair, I thought you were going to take points off Liverpool, but they bloody scored in the last minute that time. Trent, wasn't it?
Same thing there. Look, we were 3-2 up at Anfield, and they scored 2 late goals. So, we're competing against these big teams. That's a difference this year. We're maybe dropping a few more points against the mid to lower table teams, but we're more competitive against the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City exception. That was probably a worst performance to see. We got hammered out there. But again, that could have been a different story. If the VAR decision went our way at halftime, it would have been 1-1 rather than 2-1 down. So look, you get some decisions. Some of them go against you. But overall, big teams won't be liking to come to Craven Cottage. We've got Tottenham Saturday week as well at home. So some big games to look forward to.
100, man, 100. Let's come to you, Rich. He's given up on Palace. He's had to, but Glasner's come in, and I suppose there's the hope now that things can start to improve. There's some tough games coming, if I'm honest with you, because every game's tough in the Premier League. But a Palace, I mean, you say they're not safe till they're safe, but do you think you'll flirt with relegation, or do you think he'll take you away from that?
I would say the next 2 to 3 games will determine that. If memory serves me right, so we got Luton at home this week. We have to win that. Then we've got who have we got coming up? Nottingham Forest on the 30th, and I believe Bournemouth are on the 2nd of April. So those are the 3. I think if we can beat Luton this week, and then go into that 3-week, because we got a 3-week break, it's going to give us time to work on our fitness, because we've conceded 19 goals from the 75th minute. 19, which shows that we're competing to a certain point, and then we just collapse. Against Tottenham last week, I mean, granted, Joachim Anderson's either just got to pass it to Sam Johnston or hook it into Rosette. Was that magic Rosette you mentioned there, Dave? But all in all, to be fair, Tottenham deserved to win that game, so I'm not even going to complain. Like, they actually balanced the play, how the game went, they deserved to win. It's just frustrating that in the 74th minute you decide to do that. Like, why? So yeah, if we can get through this weekend's game, which I'm actually nervous about, to be honest, because Luton are annoying. They're very annoying. They're just always in the game. Like, yes, they lost to Liverpool at Anfield 4-1 the other day, but up until Liverpool scored, Luton were a problem, So yeah, I'll take a 1-0. Let's just get out of there with 3 points. That'll take us to 31, and then we're starting to breathe a bit easy, But on Glasner, he is a breath of fresh air. It is just nice to see a style of play. Granted, we still got injuries. We still need a centre forward. But Mateta's hold-up play has increased. He just still can't find the back of the net at crucial times. And as I said,
he's
I think once we get
unit as well, isn't he, Mateta?
Yeah,
like you look at him and you think, you wouldn't want to come up against him. And then you look and you just think he's either a statue or he's missing sitters. Like, it's just literally. I don't know, man.
Absolutely. I think once we get the fitness done, I think this 3-4-3 system that he's done with us, it suits us. It actually does suit us. So Gay's out for 2 months. Elise should be back in April. Ebbs just came back. Yeah, we just got to see out this this game, and then the next 3 weeks have the break, and fingers crossed going from there.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Listen, let me ask you this, Rich.
Great.
I don't know how you feel. D reckons he's fine about it, right? But are you going to be able to keep hold of some of your boys for much longer? Because I'm looking at Eze
No.
Paul out. I know Elise is injured, and that's probably a good thing for Palace to try and keep hold
Absolutely.
of it.
That's the whole.
Mark Gahey and Anderson are a good partnership as well.
Yeah.
I like Tariq Mitchell, always have done. Yeah, you got some good players there, Rich.
Yeah. Listen, I've always like when they sign new deals in the summer, like Elise and Eze, I was happy because I thought we can really now get some money out of them. Because before you're looking at that 35 for Elise, I'm thinking, raw, we're going to lose him for that change. Granted, it's still a massive profit on the 8 million that we paid for him, but he's easily a 50, 60 million player.
Yeah.
You know, and I honestly, it will hurt me more losing Elise than it will Eze. Elise came back after a massive hamstring injury. He's currently got 6 goals and I think 5 assists, and he's only played 8 games or something like that. He's been sensational. Out of Joachim Anderson and Mark Gahey, I'll be happy to let Joachim Anderson go.
Okay.
Gay's younger, he's better.
Yeah.
But it's all down. We got to time up to a new deal ASAP. Because if he goes into next season, then that's the season before the season he could go for free, and then we're really like screwed. But this is the game we've got to play now. We've got to sell our better players, try and do what that team does. And get like hundreds and millions of pounds or close to for some of our assets. And that's where our academy has to come. And Roy didn't use our academy players. They should actually be getting bedded in, half an hour here, there, so that when our bigger players go, they've got experience.
You see that that Raksaki, is it, Rich?
Yeah.
Raksaki?
Oh, what he did to Jez absolutely ticked me off.
Good lad he is.
He refused to send him out on loan and then didn't play him.
Because loads of clubs were after him as well, and he could have done him quite good being in the championship for the season.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So.
I thought he was excellent in our 0-0 draw at Selhurst Park. That was the night when Murillo went on his mad run. We actually played quite well, but I thought Raksaki was a live wire all night. He looked a really good lad.
Very good player.
And I tell you who I like for Palace. Is it Callum Wharton? Is it? The lad they've had from Blackburn? Looks a good young lad.
Yeah. He's been brilliant, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's been good. Our biggest loss, I know you've talked about Eze, we've talked about Elise, Gay being injured, but losing Chet Decore was massive. Our midfield was a mess for months. Chris Richards there, it just didn't work, you know. So, look, let's just see how the season ends. Hopefully, we'll be okay. My mindset, and granted, listen, if Forest and Everton get points deductions, it obviously it's going to benefit us, but I'd rather us be safe mathematically, not relying on that points deduction, because you just never know what could happen.
Would you rather have kept Vieira looking back now, Rich?
No, Oli Glass is cold. I could see the vision. I can see it. Yeah.
Like when you look at it compared to Roy, I reckon you'd rather keep Vieira. But when you're looking at Glasner, like coming in, they obviously did well at Frankfurt. I think you look at that now, and it's interesting to see what he's going to do moving forward, man. So fair play to you, Joe. Who you got at the weekend?
We've got Friday night, mate. Chef Wednesday. I think we'll draw. To be honest, I think it's going to be.
They're terrible, man. They're right down the
They're
bottom,
not, man.
No,
they
are fighting.
I thought they were down the bottom.
They are, bro. But it's so tight down there now. So they've won the last 4.
Oh wow!
Only lost.
Danny Rowe, isn't it? Danny Rowe.
Yeah, Danny Rowe, yeah. They've only lost 1 out of 8 at home as well. So Yorkshire Derby.
Your place.
So theirs, mate. That's the thing. So I think it'll be 1-1 in all honesty. And any other time I say take a point and run, but you've got to win nearly every game at the minute because the pace is relentless. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous for it. If we can get through that, I'm buzzing because then it's the schedule slows down a little bit. Because we've been Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Friday, and they keep moving our games. So it's we played Tuesday and then Friday night. It's fucking hell, man. But Sky don't care, do they? They're all about creating.
It's a tough weekend, actually. I'm just looking now. Cardiff at home to Ipswich.
Yep.
Hull City at home to Leicester. That's a big one because
Yeah,
Hull are
big
doing
one.
well.
Yeah,
And then
good side.
Southampton at home to Sunderland, who Sunderland's
Philogene
you know
for
what I
them
mean?
is superb.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's who I want next season at Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, good player. But yeah, mate, I think we'll draw. But if we win, amazing, because then all the pressure goes on them on Saturday and Sunday. So
Yeah.
win, but like say once
I think you'll win, man. I
hope
think
so,
you'll
mate.
win.
Hope
I
so.
think you will, man.
so.
I think you will. Sheffield Wednesday, like, let's be real. I know they've won 4, but they are down there for a
Yo,
reason.
they are. Yeah, they are. You're right. They are. But
You know what I mean?
I'm just nervous,
And
mate.
if Leeds want to go up or if Leeds want to win the league, you got to beat teams like that, man, in that league.
100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I think you will,
Yeah.
man. I think you'll be all right. Emilio, you've got Wolves. I know. Who have you got? Yeah, Wolves.
Wolves away. Good. 2 young managers, 2 teams playing a good brand of football. That's going to be a tough game. You know, again, I'm predicting probably like Joe said, probably a draw. I think that will be a fair result. But yeah, we've got nothing to be frightened of. I think Wolves have had a good season. I thought they'd struggle, to be honest with you, but you know, the brand of football Gary O'Neill's playing there is immense. You know, so again, I'm from a neutral perspective, it should be a good, entertaining game. So I'll take the draw on Saturday. Unless someone's commented here that maybe Fulham are favourites, I'm not sure. Home advantage is going to be key for Wolves, but never an easy place to go to. You know, to be honest, it's always a tough place. We tend to struggle up there, but 16th, 23rd, they're all in touch. Oh, yeah, true.
That's the championship. Yeah. Listen, Wolves. I keep saying it. They've really impressed, man. Gary O'Neill. Wow. I mean, I remember us all at the start talking about Wolves and Bournemouth being the ones that flip of a coin who might go down with Burnley and Sheffield United, I think it was, or whatever, and Luton. But wow, Wolves and Bournemouth are both impressed with their managers, man. Honestly, like it's been impressive. So that'll be a tough game.
Yeah, we never. Again, I'm not complaining, but it feels like Marcus Silva doesn't get enough credit. Last season, we were consistently top 8 for most of the season. We dipped away towards the back end, and we finished 10th. Didn't get enough recognition for that. It was all about Gary O'Neill keeping Bournemouth up, the Zerbi doing all these miracles at Brighton. Where's the credit for Marcus Silva? We're not getting any credit. I'm not complaining.
I love you, Emilio. You take everything so personal. I love it.
I love him.
He's
brilliant.
Yeah, but come on. It's just you get other players, other teams get a lot more respect, and we just quietly get on with business. We don't seem to be getting a lot of kudos from the neutrals, and there seems to be this agenda against Fulham. Little Fulham don't deserve to be in the Premier League, but you know what? Stuff the lot of you. I enjoy watching it. It just frustrates me. We never get enough credit, and it's the same in year in, year out.
I think Marco Silva. I think he's done a great job, but I also think that he's kind of done a good job wherever he's gone. Like, I didn't think he did a shocking job at Everton. Understood why it didn't work out well from in the end. Hull City as well. He come in and everyone went, "Who the hell's that?" And everyone went, "Oh, okay, I can see why." I remember they wanted Gary Rowett. Where's he now? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I look at him and think, actually, he's all right. He's a good manager. I don't look at him and go, wow, but I also don't look at him and go, what the hell's that thing? So I think for me, I think he's done well, and I think Fulham have done well this year. I didn't have Fulham going down anywhere, Emilio, to be fair. I know some people had you floating around relegation, but I never did because I felt like you had enough quality in your side, man. So I think fair play to you, bro. So there you go. I've given you some credit, Emilio. You're all right now.
Thank you, bro.
Rich, you've got Luton, bro. Always a tough game this year, man. Luton, honestly, like I can't express how much I've enjoyed them in the Premier League this year. Honestly, the games I've watched them, I think, wow, you literally are all fighting for your life. Everyone has given you absolutely no chance. And big up to Dave, by the way, who couldn't come on tonight. He's normally here weekly. What a top bloke. He's wanted tonight on other shows. So I said, you go, man. You've been here every week for pretty much the whole season. But he's loving it. He's loving life. I speak to him a lot. He's like, oh, mate, I'm loving this every weekend. And, you know, Luton, they look like they're going to potentially be in relegation, but he's loving life, man. What you saying, Rich?
Like I said, I'll take a 1-0 and run with it. They're a very frustrating side. They beat us 2-1 when we went to their ground earlier in the season. That's the same game that Eze and Decore got injured in. We just got to take it to them. Otherwise, I'm trying to avoid crosses into the box somehow because they are very dangerous with that. Is it Doughty, whatever his name?
Doughty, yeah.
Such an underrated player.
Yeah.
My
Just got in
goodness.
fantasy team for double game week.
Oh wow.
Might have to join you with that one. I'm kind of against my club here, but yeah, listen, his deliveries into the box are just a massive problem.
Yeah, he's got a great delivery, man. He really has, and they've got good players. Ross Barkley's balling it out as well.
Yeah, he is.
Got to be one of the signs of the season for me. Like he's
Carlton
balling.
Morris, Chong.
Yeah.
Every single man jack of them is overachieving, and it's an incredible, and Rob Edwards, Marco Silva deserves enormous credit. He always gets it in my view. So I've taken the stuffing out of me that Emilio put in me earlier. So I've got rid of my stuffing now, because I've always thought Marco Silva's quality, but Rob Edwards is an absolute credit. His conduct and his behaviour. I think, you compare the conduct of Gary Sweet and Rob Edwards, and you compare it to what's gone on at Nottingham Forest, and morality says they stay and we go. That's the way I look at it. I think Rob Edwards he hasn't put a foot wrong as a manager, and as a man. How he dealt with Tom Lockyer and the situation at Wembley, and then at Dean Court, just absolute a credit to the game and a credit to his club. And whatever happens after he leaves Luton, he's going to get a good job somewhere, Rob. He's a really good lad. I've so much time for him,
Well, listen, you got Brighton, Dave, and they just got hammered. So they're going to be pissed off now.
Well, it could well be the pissed off derby, because you've probably got the two most pissed off teams in the league. It just depends. The whole game. I mean, I can't tell you how it's going to go. I obviously want to win. Do I see it happening? Not sure. It's how we react to what happened last Saturday, and how they react, well, to what happened at Craven Cottage and what happened at the Stadio Olimpico tonight. Because, this Zerbi thing, like, you have a point, Dan. I think they've won 5 out of the last 23 or something now, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he seems to be half-hearted. Nuno Espiritu Santo is not half-hearted. Now, I'm probably going to go pessimistic, but there's a bit of me just thinks that if Forest go there with and everybody hates us, siege mentality, chip on the shoulder, and think, Brighton might just take Forest for granted because, it's still Nottingham Forest, points deduction, they don't deserve anything. If we play like we did against Liverpool, which apart from missing chances was excellent, we went toe-to-toe with, the table tells us is the best team in the country, and any team that's above Manchester City, who've won 5 trophies and who's above them in a standing, has to be a pretty good side. For most of that, we carved out the better chances in that game. We had no right to, according to all the pundits. If we can take some of that, and there were positives in it, as there had been in the game against Manchester United in the cup, and take them to Brighton, who just seemed to be kind of bimbling along and losing what made them so likeable to all of us, we might just get something. And also, it's Mother's Day, right? And my man would have been 87 on Sunday. So I've got the spirits with me on Sunday. And I think we might get something. But I'm going to say Brighton 3-0.
Love it, man. Love it. I hope that you do it.
Sorry, Rich. But I tell you what, it's Nuno will be saying, let's do it for Rich, because Rich is such a lovely fella.
I mean, if they win 3-0, it means you stayed lower than us, so that's not a bad thing.
And the beauty, Rich, the beauty of these shows, mate, is there are always two points of view about anything, mate.
Honestly, I was just looking at the fixtures thinking, okay, United can beat Everton, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bournemouth should beat Sheffield United. We have to beat Luton. Arsenal hopefully beat Brentford.
Yeah.
Brighton beating Forest. And West Ham beating Burnley, we might be all right.
Rich, it's the lesser of 2 evils for you to that Brighton Forest game, mate.
Mate, it is tight down there, man. It's gonna get it's gonna be very interesting. This is the exciting times, man. It's massive March for my club, it's massive March for all the other clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're excited thinking, oh, this is massive, everybody else is massive for you guys as well. You know what I'm saying?
It's massive for City. Liverpool away, Arsenal at home.
Incredible.
For the title race, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, man. I mean, if like LB said to me, if we beat Man United, Liverpool, and Arsenal, we will win the league. And I agree. I think if they win those 3 games, I think that will be enough to me to convince again that Man City are going to bloody win it again, which I still think they'll do. But,
Man, Arsenal are going to win it, bro. Arsenal are going to do it.
Arsenal are playing brilliantly, mate. Honestly, the other
Please.
night, and they didn't even bring a sandwich for Chris Wilder. I thought they would have brought a sandwich for Chris Wilder, And the other night, I kind of started watching it. I was sort of doing some studying because I'm doing a course at the moment, and I can add it on in the background. And then all of a sudden, I'll bugger the studying because like they're 9-0 up after 14 seconds or whatever. And Arsenal were just watching and Wilder, who really missed a trick with the sandwich business. He should have made a joke of it, but he got so far up his own backside about a bloody bacon, lettuce, and tomato, And to watch him, he and then Amidodic and Bogle. What are they doing? It was. I loved watching Arsenal Monday night, and the three of them. I actually think of the ones I've seen. Arsenal are the best because they were great at our place. They've been great, City. I don't know if they can still. I still think they missed Gundogan massively, and Liverpool at our place. In all honesty, we were like, admittedly they've got lots of injuries, and they played the kids. So Bradley played and Clark played, and what have you. If Liverpool are sneaking past Nottingham Forest, like Joe says, Arsenal have got the wind in their sails at the moment. It's up to them not to lose it.
Man. Best team in the country right now.
To watch.
Yeah, we're flying. Yeah. We're flying. 2024, we're absolutely killing it, man. I mean, we scored 31 goals in 2024. Man United have scored 37 goals the whole year. It's absolutely crazy. Like, honestly, we are absolutely battering teams at the moment. It's brilliant.
Is it a record for away wins of like a certain magnitude?
Yeah, so we've not. I don't think there's never been a Premier League club in history that scored more than 5 goals 3 times away from home in a row, and we've done that now. So we scored 6 against West Ham, 6 against Sheffield United, 5 against Burnley away.
Yeah,
crazy.
And Havertz looks like money well spent, mate.
Well, I mean, listen, I weren't feeling it, and now
Arteta's the man, and they're all going to end up with egg on their faces, Dave, and they're going to have to celebrate and say, do you know what? We were all wrong on Mikel Arteta. They're all going to have to do it. They're going to have to do it.
I hope so.
That's what you get. Potsy, that's what you get for inviting him back on, mate, out of his championship den, you know what I mean?
Listen, I get the critics and all that sort of stuff, but he's had an unfair shake, in my opinion. He's had unfair comparisons to Klopp's, to Guardiola. And I know this, some that are even harder. I don't need to name names, they are, that they're going to have to go, oh, God, like, how do we come back from this now? Because sometimes I think, on YouTube, you stick your head above the parapet, you make a claim. Sometimes you say, you know what, I got that wrong. But some people just double and triple down, and before you know it, you think, how can you come back from this?
Some people can't, man. Some people can't because they've gone way too far. But there are some that actually genuinely believe it. And you say it, Joe. I hope you're right, but you also could be bloody wrong. And they could be right again, going, sir, he told you. And this is what I'm about, man. I'm just like... Please don't allow that to happen, man. Just get us over the line, shut everyone up, win the Champions League, and then we can go. Oh, Chelsea and Man City fans, we're bigger than you now because we've won a European Cup. Oh, well, Forest bigger than you then because they've won 2. I just can't stand, honestly, man. Like, I hate it. I just want to go win that Champions League, shut everyone up. We are a bigger club than Chelsea. People that are saying, well, I don't know now because they've won 2 European Cups. Bloody, who the hell were they? When I was growing up, they were just like nothing, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's what it is, man. Not supposed to be an Arsenal show, I'll do enough of that. But I love you all for having faith in my club. I should have more. I love it, man. Listen, we're going to get out of here, people. Make sure you go follow Emilio at Teddy Nello and Cottage Talk. Make sure you go follow Rich at Eagle Eyed Football as well for all Palace content. Make sure you go follow Dave Asprey and, of course, Just Joe. I think you're all over there by now. And if you're not, where the hell have you been? Joe will be doing the watch-along, I guess, on Friday night.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Excellent.
Tomorrow night, mate.
Excellent, he's Bamford on penalties.
Do you know what, though? Since the turn of the year, he's been fantastic, mate, so I can't say.
Ever since that penalty at Stoke, since he's had his haircut, Patrick's been playing well, mate.
He has, mate. He has. He's
He has been.
coincided with our turn. Yeah, since our turn of form, yeah. And he's obviously going to win the Puskas over Garnacho as well. So, you know what I mean?
Well, he is going to, like me. He must be.
Yeah,
It's
Elise
clear.
at Luton.
Clear,
Elise at
apparently.
Luton.
I reckons it's clear. So we'll see.
Gosh.
There is a prediction for Leeds Sheffield Wednesday here.
I think we're either going to win, draw, or lose. That's the prediction.
Get him on here.
That is a beauty. straight from the Michael Owen school of predictions. That.
Honestly, that is one of the best ever. One of the best ever. Listen, we're out of here, people. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Smash a like.
later, guys.
Peace.